All right, I'm here. I am back. Welcome to the Sports Talk, guys. The Super Bowl concluded last night. The season concluded last night with a Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks. Defensive game. And I wonder how every other team now views defense more than offense because New England Patriots did not show up for that game. However, you know how I think. I think that the game is rigged. But however, they let them play last night. Last night there was some calls that was called, calls that wasn't called. But I think the game certified most of the Seattle Seahawks fans, those that was rooting for them. I was rooting for Sam Darnold. Like I said before, all the other episodes and segments that I enjoyed his journey from the Jets all the way down to Seattle Seahawks land. And now he's a Super Bowl champion, drafted in the exact same year of Lamar Jackson, uh, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield and Josh Rosen. Now, this is the debate right now that's going around with sports fans, and they're asking the question: since we favor, Lamar Jackson, the Josh Allens, and Baker Mayfield, he's a good quarterback. He's above average quarterback. He's not a scrub. However, I just want to say the debate is Sam Donald, is he better than Lamar Jackson? Is he better than a Josh Allen since he's the first to receive or win a ring, a chip, before those two great quarterbacks? So that's the debate amongst the sports fans they're talking about now. I'm not knowing what they're saying in your circle, but in my circle, that's the question. Who's better now? Is it because of the stats that makes the quarterback better? Is it the chip? Is it the championship? Most will argue that the stats. Most will argue that it's the championships. Sam Donald has been to two Super Bowls. He's been one with San Francisco 49ers. Now he's been with the arch rivals Seahawks. It's funny. So now that he's been to two Super Bowls with two NFC West teams, the 49ers and the Seahawks, then he became the starter of the Vikings. As you know his story, they got rid of him. Seattle took him, and now you see the rest of his history, Super Bowl history, Super Bowl 60 history. So I think that the Seahawks has a quarterback for the future. He's still young, and Sam Darnold did a phenomenal job to get there. I appreciate the defense. I don't like the name for the defense, the dark side. I don't like that name for a defense. It's I don't know who you're intimidating. It's not intimidating nobody. So I think that watching last night's game and the defensive performance that they put out, I'm just going to say it's like a renaissance of the Ravens, the Baltimore Raven days when they had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Terrell Suggs and the boys. Man, that defense smothered New England. Not saying the New England defense didn't play well. What's his name? Gonzalez, on the Patriots side, he held it down for New England. He did a great job defensively. Most of these plays, man, and breakups that he got in that game was awesome, man. And I don't know what Mike Verbal was doing, man, or Josh McDaniels. The offense, it looked like the exact same game from the Broncos game. They did not. I know it was snowing. I know it was cold that game, but it's a different story. It wasn't snowing. It was no rain, no weather elements. There was nothing involved this time around, and they looked exactly like they did in the AFC Championship game. They were stalling out. I think that there was a problem from the beginning. That's what I think. There was a problem from the beginning, and they couldn't hide it no more, and it showed itself in the Super Bowl. The two young guards on the left side couldn't protect Drake May for nothing. Drake May was running for his life. It reminded me of Tom Brady in the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl when he played his last game. So Drake May, he's not a terrible quarterback. He accomplished a lot this season. And I think that New England fans should be happy that New England is finally back in a fold of saying that their name is back in championship contention now. They're not the laughing stock of the NFL or the bottom for the last 3 or 4 years anymore. They have made another appearance in the Super Bowl. They lost. However, I think that this is a plus for New England. I think it's a plus for the whole organization, regardless of the political mumbo jumbo and what's going on out in the world about their owner and everything else. But this is sports talk, not political talk or politics. So this is what we're saying. This is what we're saying over here in this camp. I think that the Super Bowl was a well greased oil machine. 127.7 million viewers watched the Super Bowl last night, beat last year's viewership. And, Bad Bunny, if you watched to see his halftime show, he brought the culture. He showed his people he was, representing well. Well, excuse me, did I say his people? I mean his country. I said it, his people, his culture. He was representing well. Regardless, everything was in Spanish, and we don't speak Espanol over here. However, the way it was put together, and I was saying to my wife, I was saying, it's funny. It took 2 weeks to put all that together, but I see what he did there. It was creative. However, back to the game. So the game, the defense on both sides of the team stood out. One wasn't better than the other per se. Besides, Seattle offense was just clicking on the run game. Walker, he did a great job penetrating that front seven of the defense of New England, and I just, want to tip my hats to the Super Bowl MVP. Great job, sir. You did a great job moving the needles and holding that rock tight. They did not commit a turnover. If you really paid attention, Seattle did not commit a turnover at all in the playoffs. The playoffs. Yes, the whole postseason run did not commit any turnovers, and that was impressive. They made history with that. I'm just looking at the game, how the game was just they let them play, and when the NFL lets two teams that never played each other, that haven't played each other, before during the year, you let them play. You let them play. I think that's the point. You let them play. And it was great to see that. And they let them play for real. And I enjoyed every bit of it. And I was like, wow, this is actually a game that, there should have been some calls, but it wasn't. It was a major calls that would decide the game. But defense ran and throughout the whole game, defense ran this game. Defense was a defensive game on the Seattle side mostly. Seattle defense in this Super Bowl was so electric. Regardless, it made it boring, but it's defense win championships. Yes, the defense win championships. So defense win championships. A defensive team won a Super Bowl by its defense, not by its offense. Offense helped, but the defense was the star. So that right there lets me know where the offseason and the new season coming up this year is going to go, because they flip flop. 1 minute is the offensive juggernauts of the NFL. The next, is the defense that win championships. And so I think this offseason going to be great. Let's talk about this for a second. I appreciate the England Patriots. I'm going to give them their shout out. They did well, man. Everybody should be like, wow, man, New England, this and that. New England did what they did, man. New England stood in there. They got to the Super Bowl. Somebody had to represent. Somebody had to represent, and somebody did what they had to do, bro. And I just think this right here is because if no one showed up and New England did not show up, New England came to the Super Bowl. I don't know what game plan they had. They tried the run game. Run game was stopped. Stevens, I thought he was going to get more yards than he did. He broke through some tackles, got some yardage. Wasn't enough to do anything to move the needle. New England just was duds, man. I'm just thinking, man. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't. Let's say it was terrible. It was terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was terrible on the New England side. They had no game plan, man. They were lost in the sauce, man. I didn't know if they wanted to give New England any props because of the woes they going through in the team. Stephon Diggs didn't show up at all. I don't think he only had about 4 catches in the whole game for a few yards. Their superstars on offense was not showing. Drake May wasn't Drake May to about maybe 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He started running, scrambling, and trying to do something with his arms, but it wasn't enough because we should have saw that the first half. You got shut out the first half, third quarter, then the fourth quarter. Here comes scoring. I like it's too late for that. I don't want to see that dumb stuff. I want to see, you know, I want to see football, and we saw a defensive battle, and it was great on the New England side. For Gonzalez did his thing. It wasn't terrible. He did his thing. However, Seattle, man, they they smothered them boys, man. I just it was a good defensive Super Bowl. It reminded me of the good old days, the good old defensive Super Bowl days of the Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants, Bears, not in their caliber, but it was a good defensive, showing for the Seattle's. Even I think the coach of the Seattle Seahawks used to work for John Harbaugh, the Harbaugh brothers here and there. He used to work on Baltimore Ravens staff, so he was an assistant coach. So that pedigree's there. So you could say John Harbaugh, he breed defensive coach and assistants to become head coaches, and look what they're doing. Now he has a protege. I'm not gonna say a true protege, but I don't think he gives John Harbaugh that much credit for his growth and becoming the um, defensive coordinator, defensive guru, the way he was in this Super Bowl. But I didn't know he called the defensive plays throughout the whole season. I didn't know the head coach calling defensive plays. That's what he shines at, and he did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal. And I just going to give New England something that we want to give them to since the Bronco game. They didn't do everything, but it was a heartbreaker. It was a heartbreaker. And I just don't know why they didn't show up the way they did, man. What is going on here? Oh, okay, cool. So there we go. Now we got it. This is what I want to give the England fans. It was a heartbreaker. You lost the Super Bowl. There you go. It broke my heart to see New England fans go out that way. But cheer up, New England. You have a squad. You have a team that might could be back next year if y'all keep the core together and get some more offensive weapons and offensive guards. Man, the guard Drake May, he is y'all future quarterback. He is there to stay. And Drake did his thing all season long. I watched a few games that New England played. Wasn't terrible. Drake May has arrived for New England, so New England fans, y'all should go ahead and celebrate that. You should celebrate that. You should celebrate that. I think that you guys have a chance next year because if you keep playing the way you're playing and Josh McDaniels decided to stay, yeah, decides to stay and get some offensive weapons for you. I don't know if Stephon Diggs is going to be there. I don't know the trouble he in and what they say in the media. We don't know if he's going to be with the team, but I hope he does because he was a great addition to that team. He was a great motivation. But get some young blood, some young studs from the draft, some quick receivers. Get some receivers with some catchable skills, man, to catch the ball with hands. When the ball touched the hands, catch the ball. That was going on in the whole Super Bowl on both sides. Sam Donald throwing the ball, dart, and all of a sudden, its receivers going through their hands. I'm surprised they didn't get an interception. They should have got an interception. And Drake May did through interceptions. So I just want to say this. Oh, content is too long. Okay. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate that. But yeah, so this is what we have to do this off season. New England get some more young receivers, maybe some big ones from the draft. Get some strong ones, some fast ones, and some ones that have hand skills that can catch the ball in any type of traffic with gloves on, without gloves, frozen hands or not. And I think New England will be back in the big dance. However, Seattle, what we talk about Seattle, they're the champs. So their schedule definitely is going to be hard going to the season, and it's not going to have an easy season. They're going to have a season. So to repeat as champions, but I think this is the reason why I think Seattle is going to be okay. They have a core team. They have a great chemistry there. And Sam Donald didn't play as great as he did in the NFC Championship game, but he did put some numbers up. And I did say if he is the Super Bowl MVP, it would have been robbing, Walker. But thank God they listened to the hearts of the people and made sure that Walker got that Super Bowl MVP because he's the reason why Seattle was going to roll before they start getting everything else going. Defense showed up on time. I'm just talking about defense because I'm a defensive guy. I like defense. Defense wins championships, people. And that defense remind me of 2000. What's the second Super Bowl the Ravens won? And with Ray Lewis before he retired, it reminded me of that defense, not 2002, 2001, 2002 Ravens, but 2000, 2001 Ravens, but the second Super Bowl Ravens defense. That defense was lights out. That defense showed up, and that was reminding me of football. That was football. That was football last night. They let him play. Stephon Diggs got punched. A fan ran on the field. However, it didn't stop the momentum of the game because the game was already decided first quarter, when all the field goals was getting kicked. And shout out to the kicker because the kicker made history. Four straight field goals in a Super Bowl, which that's history, I guess. But the Seattle Seahawks showed up. Their defense was hungry. They stepped up. They came through, and they are now a Super Bowl champion defense. The dark side, I don't agree with that name for a defense. That's too vague, but they won. So let's talk about Sam Darnold here. What's the next goal for him? He won the chip. The debate is going around. The same, I think, 2018 class. I guess him, Baker Mayfield. It's on the tip of my tongue. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen was drafted at the same time. Josh Rosen as well. Now he's the first with the ring. Sam Darnold. And the debate is: does that make him number two behind Patrick Mahomes, or is Matthew Stafford still the number 2 quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes? Because Patrick Mahomes has 3, Stafford has 1, now an MVP, and Sam Darnold has now a chip. So he's tied with Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and if he gets a second one, now you have a conversation. But the debate is now: does that make him better than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen because he has a championship now? Got to think about that. Leave your comments below and let me know what you think about that. I need to know. Let's start a conversation. Does this make Sam Darnold better than those 2 or 4 quarterbacks? Now, Josh Rosen, if I'm saying this name correct, I'm not disrespecting him because he had a bad round when he first came out. And he didn't get to play the way he's supposed to play. However, Baker Mayfield, same thing, went to the Browns. They got rid of him. Went to Carolina. They got rid of him. Then all of a sudden, he's Tampa Bay. So now he's with Tampa Bay. He has found his home, and he's doing great things with Tampa Bay. He had to be a successor to Tom Brady, but he's doing his thing there. But is he enough to get Tampa Bay over the hump back to championship contention? Now let's go back to, Lamar Jackson. Lamar. New coach, familiar. It's been a minute since he's been around him, but it's a new coach. Rumors talking about Lamar want to go somewhere. Go here, go there. I don't care about that. Is Lamar the piece, or is he need pieces to help the Baltimore Ravens get back to championship contention? You got King Henry. Got Lamar Jackson. You got Mark Andrews. You got Likely. You got Flowers. You got Bateman. I mean, the offense is stacked. The offensive line is stacked. The Ravens been the best team to me the last 5 years. And all of a sudden now, they hit a snag this year. It's okay. But does that make Lamar Jackson less than Sam Darnold? Because now Sam Darnold has a chip and he does not. Sam Darnold has a playoff record better than Josh Allen, I think, and better than Lamar Jackson. Especially this year, it makes it canny. So we don't know, man. We don't know. I think that Sam Darnold now has bragging rights as the best quarterback of that class draft. But still, the question is, does that make him better than Lamar Jackson? And does that make him better than Josh Allen? Leave your comments and answers below, and then we could talk in the next segment about that, because I think that's a good question. See, I like Lamar Jackson. I like Josh Allen. I like Baker Mayfield in the Tampa Bay Mayfield, not his early career, not even Carolina. I like Tampa Bay Mayfield because he has confidence and boldness in that on that team. But I do think that the conversation need to be had now that Sam Donald has a chip. So let's run down all the quarterbacks right now with championships that's still playing in this era. Patrick Mahomes is leading. You got Sam Donald. You got Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts. That's another conversation. And name any other championship quarterback that's on any team right now. There is none. So as I named the top five. Once again, I named the top five. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. You got Sam Donald now. And you have, I said Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and who's the fifth? Matthew Stafford. There you go. So So this is top five quarterbacks right there. You know, Aaron Rodgers is 40-some years old. If he comes back with former coach McCarthy, you see what he did to the Cowboys. Now he's a Pittsburgh Steeler, and Aaron Rodgers in there. You remember the last year they were together in Green Bay, how they went. They still were 13-3, I think. However, with Pittsburgh, what's going to change between their dynamic? I don't understand that. I don't know who's number two now behind Patrick Mahomes. You got Jalen Hurts, then you got now Sam Donald, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. Those are only four I know with rings. And so Patrick Mahomes ain't going nowhere. Patrick Mahomes ain't going nowhere. Now, if he comes back from his ACL his tear, and he comes and electrify the league again, then that man would never hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. These injuries that these guys get, and all of a sudden they come back week one of the NFL season and start playing like they wasn't hurt. I don't buy that. I don't think they were really hurt. I think that it was propaganda. I told y'all on this channel, regardless, I watch the sport. I love football, but I still think it's rigged and scripted. People don't like that. They tune off and leave, just like a while ago. Somebody came in and they left. So it's just that simple. But however, facts are facts, and analytics are analytics. And so I think that Patrick Mahomes is still top. I think he got 3 rings. Then you got Aaron Rodgers. I give him old school. Then you got now Matthew Stafford. Okay, he's old school too now. Then you got Sam Donald, Jalen Hurts. They're the only ones with rings right now in this era playing behind Patrick Mahomes. So we don't know who the true number 2 quarterback is or number 3, because one of those 4 has to win another chip just to be the number 2 quarterback, and that's still the same narrative that's going to go forward coming this season. If Patrick Mahomes come back healthy, and God be the glory that he does, and he start playing lights out, then guess what? He is the face of the NFL. Now, Aaron Rodgers somehow gets another fire under his belt, and then at age 40, late 40, and come in and start dominating the league under Mike McCarthy, then guess what? There's another narrative. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks, defending champions. Now everybody's gunning for their head. They're gonna have to have a new offensive coordinator because their offensive coordinator is now the head coach of the LA Raiders. No, excuse me, Las Vegas Raiders. See, so that Las Vegas, LA, Las Vegas, LA. So Las Vegas Raiders. So now you've got a championship coach going to a team Tom Brady is, minority owner to, and then now you see what I'm saying. He was already party picked and just wait till after the Super Bowl, and then he announced his hire for the Raiders. Now he's the Raiders coach. It's gonna be fun. But they let him play just like they let him play in the Super Bowl, and this season be great. I'm telling you right now. I don't know. I can tell you every season, I can't say dark horse because I'm not using that. If I'm not using dark side, my team that I'm looking at, if C.J. Stroud acts right, Houston Texans. I'll be honest. The Houston Texans should have been in the Super Bowl, man. I don't know what happened, why they played the way they played. They should have been in the Super Bowl. It's okay. It's okay. We'll see what they do next season. So each team should build up their defense defense, defense. Seattle got their defense right for the right moment, right quarterback for the right time, and they're champions. So let's go to the AFC. Let's break down every team on the AFC and what I think they should do in order to be in championship contention. I'm going to start with New England. I think I already said enough about New England. They just need to sew up the offensive line. I think New England got everything they need. They just need to sew up the offensive line, get a few more offensive weapons, and they're back in the game. They're back in the conversation. Chiefs, the Chiefs, if Patrick Mahomes come back, Patrick Mahomes, then guess what? Patrick Mahomes will be Patrick Mahomes. If he's healthy and his ACL don't give him problems during the season, the Kansas City Chiefs and Kelsey comes back, they'll be all right. I'm not worried about the Chiefs because they're the team still to beat. I don't care who wins the championship here and there. They're still the team to beat. To catch up to. How about that? All right. Also, I think the Chargers just need Justin Herbert to stay healthy, and that's it. Justin Herbert, if he stays healthy, Justin Herbert could have did some damage in playoffs. In college, he was a lights out quarterback. He should be like that in the NFL. He learns quick. His quarterback IQ is high. He does a lot of things in the NFL right. I just don't know why he's not getting over the hump. Now that he has the bag, and I hope they're not rules for him to play a certain way because he got that bag. But Justin Herbert is a baller. He's a football player. He loves football. He likes to play the game, and he would do anything to win a game. And that's why I have not seen that yet in him. And because now that he got a great coach in Jim Harbaugh, I think the Chargers just need to let him play his game. And I think the Chargers are going to be dangerous next season as well. Cincinnati. Oh, God, this team aggravates me. Joe Burrow, Chase, you got number one, number two. I don't care who get paid what. Play football, man. That's all I say about Cincinnati. You have a decent defense. Your defense just need to sew up some linebackers and some DBs and some free safeties. Get the D line up going, and then on offense, get a number two receiver comparable to Chase and a tight end, and a running back that stays healthy and don't get hurt all the time, and then Cincinnati get me back to the Super Bowl. Because I thought Joe Burrow was going to be the next. I really thought he should be the face, but he has not shown anything of late to solidify that notion for me. Now let's go to Denver Broncos. I want to say this: if Bo Nix did not get hurt, and Bo Nix have played in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots with the Broncos would be in the Super Bowl. If he stayed healthy. Now, if the Broncos was in the Super Bowl, it would have been a whole new ball game, and it would be hard to choose who would have won that game because the Broncos have a defense too. It's not even playing anymore. So if Bo Nix stay healthy, sew up the offensive line, get some more receivers, and another running back to complement their running back, the Broncos will be right back in the dance as well. All right, so we go to the Jets. Jets need just miracle. They just need prayer. Jets need the Holy Ghost. The Jets needs Alan Glenn is a great coach, guys, but he needs to trust the system, his system that he's implementing. Stretching out my legs. And I think the Jets would be back on point, man, if they just do something, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think Jets would do great things if they have a coaching staff that cares about football. So the Jets just need to show something next season to shut our mouths. Right now, the Jets are the laughing stock of the NFL. We ain't gonna talk about that no more. The Jets, they're underneath the bus right now. So Cleveland Browns, not a terrible team. They're a decent team. Defense, mwah. However, they just need a solid quarterback that's going to play all season. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be developed. It's going to be mentored before week one of the season next season. So they could have a chance of moving forward during the season. They're not a terrible team. Technically, they're a good team. They just need identity, unity, and oneness in the organization, a coaching staff that cares about football as well, and someone to mentor whoever's going to mentor Shakur Sanders. If he's going to be number one or not, make up your mind. Make up your mind. Deshaun Watson got baptized in the Jordan River in Israel. Okay, cool. But how is that going to change him for playing football this season? I don't know. If he comes and becomes, if he shows a little, a little mirror of the Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texan days, then Cleveland could be in the contention in the playoffs, not Super Bowl, but in the playoffs. But we don't know who's going to be the quarterback. We don't know what kind of quarterback battle is going to be held for Cleveland. Cleveland's not a terrible team. They just need identity. Okay, so about that. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they got the sauce. They just needed to mix it up and put it on the chicken. Pittsburgh got the sauce. Mike Tomlin is gone. You got Mike McCarthy now. If he don't go and change that team and bring some identity to that team, as in defense, if Pittsburgh get a decent defense, Pittsburgh is going to be in the conversation. If Aaron Rodgers return or not, they just get a capable quarterback to be a game manager, and let the team play together. Pittsburgh could be back in playoffs. They could be in contention. Also, if Pittsburgh could change the corner with Aaron Rodgers coming back, I know he's hungry for it. I want Aaron Rodgers to get a second ring. I want Aaron Rodgers to get a second ring so he won't be in the dust of these new quarterbacks that's coming in, because he's an old relic right now in the NFL. Relic. And right now you're playing for a chip. You're supposed to be in the face of the NFL, but you decided to do something else. Now you're rushing to get a ring. If they sew the team up with defense and get more offensive weapons, I think Pittsburgh will be in the playoffs again and might can go far. However, the Miami Dolphins, I don't know what they're going to look like. They just need a quarterback. And the defense is decent. The offensive line is decent. Defensive line is decent. The coach has got to be good to get them on board to play football. I repeat, the coach has to be good to get them online to play football. That's all Miami needs, man. Miami needs a coach that believes in the scheme that he's about to show them, and then the players need to believe in the scheme that the coach is about to give them. They're talking about rumors of trading Takua, and I don't know what quarterback they're going after, but I hope it ain't Lamar Jackson. But if Lamar Jackson do get traded or ask for release and go to Miami, I think Miami is going to be dangerous. And then just say if Hill comes back, and no, I don't think he's coming back fully the way he used to be. But if he does, and Waddle's still there, and then with that running back Drake and all that stuff, I'm saying the running back name wrong. I'm telling you right now, they would be dangerous if they switch quarterbacks. Baltimore, Miami switch quarterbacks, but they just need a steady quarterback and offensive line. Okay, moving forward, I think that Jacksonville showed up. Jacksonville looks good. It looks ready to go. Travis Hunter wasn't a dud, just wasn't ready for NFL football this year. Well, hopefully next year he'll be ready, and they'll be ready to push the offensive line, the offensive production further, because he was a decent receiver, and he caught a lot of good passes. I don't think he need to play defense in the NFL. I don't think he need to play both ways. He needs to play offense and focus on offense. That's just me. Or focus on one side of the ball. Jacksonville still looks good. I think they're here to stay. However, let's get to Josh Allen and them Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Now with Joe Brady as head coach, familiarity, but I don't know if he's going to be enough to get them over the hump. This is what I say. The Buffalo Bills only need, I don't know what they'll need to get over the hump. I really don't. They got Josh Allen. He's a former MVP. I don't know what they need to get over the hump. They got a run game. You got a pass game. Defense is decent. Defense ain't terrible. Offensive line is decent if offensive line is not terrible. So what do you need to get over the hunt? I think you need to become the number one scoring offense in the league total, not going back and forth, have a consistency on offense, not letting Josh Allen be Superman. Let everybody else become Superman like him. Let them become the part of the Justice League. That's all I think. That's what I say. Josh Allen, the boys, we'll see how Joe Brady get this team on board. So who else is out there that I have not mentioned? Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know. The number one draft pick is going to be Indiana quarterback. What's his name? I forgot his name already. See, that's how much I don't watch Indiana football. Mendoza, though, I know his last name Mendoza. Okay, I'll be honest about that kid. What I watched in the championship against Miami, he did great. He was a great game manager, not game changer, but game manager. But that run that they got to score that touchdown was a game changer for the game. And NFL wise, I don't think he's ready to be a starter year one. I think he needs to sit down the bench. And I think he needs to sit down the bench. I'm going to say it again. I think he needs to sit down on the bench and just chill out for a second. That's what I think. And be mentored just a little bit. Mendoza don't need to be number one quarterback. He could be drafted number one, but the Raiders don't put him in the game that fast. Don't put him in the system that fast. Let him be mentor. Now, Geno Smith, no. Geno Smith had his moments. He fell for a minute. Seattle, rised up to Seattle. Now he came to Las Vegas. He dipped. I don't know what's going on with Geno, if they keep him or not. They need a quarterback competition to see if he's still good. Going to be the backup. But other than that, his days are numbered. However, LA just need to sew up their offensive line, sew up their defensive line, get some free safeties, get some offensive line. It's not offensive, but outside linebackers here, and get one good tight end, man. The Raiders will be back in contention. Now they got what's named the coach, offensive coordinator from Seattle. He's a championship quarterback now, so pedigree. Defense just sew up a little bit. Just sew up that line, man. They could be all right. Raiders could run. They can run for the hills. I think right now, it's what the other four teams I have not mentioned. Let me see here. I said Baltimore. I said the Browns. I said the Jaguars. I said Pittsburgh. We talked about Miami. We talked about New England. Let's talk about Buffalo. Talk about the Jets. Okay, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, and let me see here. There's one more team I'm missing here, but it's okay. So, the AFC, they're not terrible. The teams are not terrible. They just need to sew up some things on the offseason. Now, the NFC, it's a different story. Yeah, we have Seattle champions. Yay. Matter of fact, I don't care. I'm going to do this because I've been wanting to do this since what I want to do. I'm going to do it right here for Seattle. Seattle, congratulations. There you go. Seattle. One more time. Super Bowl champions. Here we go. That's for your fans. Here's the balloons. Celebrate it. NFC champions. NFC. That's pretty cool. However, I don't see a championship run. I think the Eagles going to be back in play. I believe the Cowboys going to be strengthened. I think the Carolina Panthers might be a better team in the playoffs or going forward next season because they're going to have a hard schedule going forward because they made the playoffs. They did NFC South champions by technicality. Now their schedule is going to be a little bit harder. So their schedule is going to be harder. So now they should be able to play better football. So now let's see here. I did miss a team in the AFC, but it's okay. We'll get it. I think that the NFC has great teams. They just don't have the prolific quarterbacks. I think Detroit Lions with Jeff Goff, he's in line to do some damage, man. I think the Detroit Lions going to come back and roar. They're going to pounce on some teams next season. Vikings, they need a quarterback. That's all they need. They got everything else. They just need a quarterback. All right. We already talked about the New York Giants. The Giants. They got the coach. They got the Jackson Dart. He ain't terrible. They got a decent team. I think John Harbaugh is going to bring that team to a playoff level team, not a Super Bowl level team. I could be wrong. I said something about the Patriots. They made the Super Bowl, but John Harbaugh could bring that team to glory again. We'll just see. I think the Redskins. I don't know what happened to them this season. They even show up for none of the games they play, and then the quarterback got hurt multiple times. So that is, oh yeah, I know what team I missed. So that's sad about them. So I don't know what the Commanders are going to do. Giants, Eagles. Talk about the Cowboys. Sign George Pickens. You might be another potent offensive line, offense again. Then let's see here. You got the Atlanta Falcons was not terrible this year. They just didn't last long like I thought. They're not terrible, man. They just didn't last longer than I thought. So I think that the Falcons they're about to get released. Kirk Cousins. They said that Penix Jr. is not the future. Well, I don't know who is then if he's not. So 49, not the 49ers. We'll talk about them next. Then the Falcons just need identity. So call Cam Newton if you want to a championship or you want a old school quarterback. So now the 49ers defense just took all their stars just fell out of grace. They got hurt and they played no more in the season. If the 49ers stay healthy, they could be the top of the crop. I thought that Rams was going to be the Super Bowl champs, but I thought wrong. And they have issues. When they played Carolina, it was evidence that they had issues in the regular season and they had issues in the playoffs. They won that game against Carolina in the playoffs, but everything was still shown about how weak they were on both sides of the ball. And I kind of like, oh man, could tell as they was winning, they were getting fatigue, and that one game they're gonna get that weakness that was exploited. They went back down, and Matthew Stafford just got MVP. So the Rams, I thought was going to the Super Bowl, but no. But they still good enough to go. So I ain't worried about it. Devontae Adams, I'm not calling him kryptonite, but I think that he's going to get over the hump part of this season. Let's see. We got the Seahawks. They're champs, so we ain't talking about them more. Arizona Cardinals, they got some rebuilding to do. Just need a quarterback and sew up the defense. They might be all right and get a prolific quarterback. I think right now, the AFC side, the Titans. I miss the Titans. I don't know about the Titans because they wasn't good this year. They got a coach now, Robert Saleh. They got him, but you saw his tenure as a Jets coach. He's a defensive juggernaut. I love his defense, but as a head coach, I don't think he has the sauce. Bottom line, I think that Arizona's going to rebuild. Kyle Murray, I don't know if he's going to stay with Arizona. I don't know if he's going to be the quarterback. They need to go trade for him for Tennessee, and because I think he needs a quarterback for Tennessee. They got Cam Ward, but Cam Ward did not impress at all this season. He didn't impress at all to me. He wasn't terrible, but he didn't impress at all. And then you got Indianapolis Colts. I forgot them to talk about them. We don't know who's their quarterback going to be. Daniel Jones did ball out until he got hurt. And it sucks with the Colts going down like that, man. Daniel Jones was balling, man. It just, he went down, man. He couldn't play no more. But we didn't see this Daniel Jones with the Giants. We saw this Daniel Jones with the Colts, and he played for that team. He went all out, even as an injured man, trying to play a game, man. And that was hard to me. So I got respect for Daniel Jones. However, Anthony Richardson, their quarterback, supposed to be of the future. He needs some mentorship. So they just need to sew up some things with the Colts. They'll be back in contention. However, who else is there to talk about on the AFC side? Because I forgot the Titans, the Colts. They'll come to me. Talk about the Bengals, the Browns, Pittsburgh, the Ravens, Jets, the Buffalo Bills. We talked about New England. We talked about Miami. We talked about Chargers, Chiefs. We talked about Las Vegas Raiders. We talked about the Broncos. Who else? Good God Almighty. We missing some teams. Houston. Or the South. Okay, the Colts, Jaguars, Houston, and who else is Jaguars, Houston, the Colts, And who else is on that team? That's why. Oof, AFC South. AFC South. Houston's the cream of the crop there. Jacksonville is now the kings of it right now for this year. I think it's going to flip flop again. Somebody else is going to flip flop with Jacksonville on the AFC South side. I think that Jacksonville has the blueprint to do things. I do also think that Houston has the team to win a championship. They just got to play better in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. This is why we're talking about sports talk. But we did have a debate. If you guys don't want to know what the debate is, who is better now between the 2018 class of Sam Donald, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Baker Mayfield? Who's the best quarterback of that roster? Because is it Sam Donald because he got a chip? Is it Sam Donald because he pretty much showed out this whole entire season? Leave your comments below and let's talk, man. Because I think that's the debate we need to be having. Who's better now? Stats don't just make you legendary. Stats makes you immortal. But however, a championship puts you beyond all that. And I think I gotta use that immortal too loosely. However, teams that I'm missing here, Giants might do things. I think Giants might be good. We got Seattle, we got the Seahawks, we got the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be back. They're going to be scary. Devontae Adams got a chip on his shoulder. 0-5. 5 conference championships, and you're 0-5. Something got to give for him. Stephen Diggs, he made a Super Bowl, lost, was not a factor. That's going to haunt him. Now he got all these legal issues. It's going to hurt the team. Is the team going to bring him back? They should. He helped out the team well. But he should have thought about the offseason tactics. But it's okay. I think Stephon Diggs going to do well. He's going to do well. Cowboys. What y'all think about them Cowboys? I think the Cowboys is going to do some things if the NFL let the teams play. Once again. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to see Cam Newton back on the team. Stop being scared, Cam, and go play football, bro. You're fourth and one. Awesome show. Your Funky Fridays, great interview piece. Not really that fond of it. Only a few episodes I was fond of it. But go play football. You ain't retired. Ask the team to take you. Be a backup. See what you can do. Wait your turn and get in the game and play football. I want to see Cam win a championship one way or the other. One way or the other. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback, Terry Owens. That's my quarterback. But it was a great. I ain't hardly watched the season anyway. I only watched like maybe 4.5 games. I ain't watched all 18 games. That's crazy. I got things to do. I got a life. However, once again, guys, what do you think? Is Sam Donald? I'm gonna keep saying this to somebody. Put this in the comments below. Sam Donald, is he better than Josh Allen? Is Sam Donald better than Baker Mayfield because he got their chip? Somebody say something to me. Somebody put it in the comments below. Chat. Let's have a conversation so I can prove you wrong. However, I think this is the cap of the NFL season. The Super Bowl's over. 127.7 million viewers. Worldwide, I think it was 130. But those numbers come in later on. Might get big. Might be higher than that. Might be actually 135. We'll see what the total record is. Let's talk about the commercials. If y'all seen the commercials, the Super Bowl commercials are actually good this time around. The Super Bowl commercials are actually good. They actually compliment the Super Bowl. It was funny. Ben Affleck, Goodwill Duncan, that was a good commercial. The State Farm commercial was great. They showed more clips of Mario movies. The movie trailers some was good, some was black. Most of the time, the commercials was not entertaining because I don't like using that word, but it was good. It was funny. Even we got to talk about the halftime show. I don't know, guys. It ain't about this the non-English speaking, but the way they put that together in 2 weeks and put it together fine, and he represented his culture, man. It was good. I liked it. It was great. I don't know his real name, but Bad Bunny, he represented regardless of what he was saying. I hope it wasn't crazy stuff he was saying. I'm not in agreement if he said anything crazy. I just want to say this. it was fun. It was funny to watch. Yeah, we didn't know what he was saying, but Bad Bunny came out there halftime. The props was good. The direction was good. You got Pedro Pascal, you got Jessica Alba, you got all these celebrities supporting him, even Chloe B. Got everybody there supporting the culture. You got him going through giving his Grammy to a child. That was pretty cool. And the way he was dancing, comedy. You could thank Saturday Night Live for that. That's what it reminded me of a Saturday Night Live sketch, a video, a live action moving music video with Saturday Night Live props. However, he represented his people well, man. His culture well, man, and there are a lot of people, but he did a great job. I'm not rooting for that. It just he did a great job, man. What you want me to say? He did a great job. I think he did well, and he did well. For what he had to do. Thank God he come out and dress what he was originally supposed to be doing. Thank God for that. But other than that, I don't know what his morals are, his values. That's not what we're talking about here. Remember, don't speak politics and all that stuff here. We just he was part of the football game, so we had to speak on his halftime performance. However, this is the caveat for the whole game. The bottom line: defense win championships. I'm gonna write that in the caption. Watch this. Bottom line. Bottom line. Here we go. Let's go here. Defense win championships, guys. Defense wins championships. Let's do this again. Defense wins championships. I'm gonna keep this up here. Here we go. Defense. Let me make sure I spell this correct. Defense wins championships. Let's save it and show it. That's the wrong one. Running the podcast it has its challenges. Defense win championships. I'm gonna keep that there for a minute. Defense win championships. And you can also see the little track at the bottom. That's when we do run our shows on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. And then when we can't do all those 3 days, we jump on Mondays like we're doing today because we was busy with other things in life and stuff like that, family, ministry, all that stuff. So that's why you see, we're on YouTube, on Twitch. I am on Facebook, but it's another story about that. However, that's how you catch us on during the week. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Saturdays, we talk about, different segments. That would be like movies and all kinds of stuff like that. However, sports talk. Sports talk is what we talk about sports, and you see that defense win championships. I like that. Defense win championships. If you do not agree with that, then you need to understand that defense wins championships. And I appreciate defense wins championships. One more time. Name all the great defensive teams in NFL history that won the championships. My favorite, my first team I ever watched in a Super Bowl was Chicago Bears. I was 5 years old, 1995. Refrigerator Perry, Jim McMahon, Walter Payton. That ice cold defense they had at 5 years old. That's when my very first, I think, football game that I remember. I watched a lot of football games that year, but my first football game was the Super Bowl that I remember. And it was the first Super Bowl that had me like, wow, football is the greatest sports in the world. Then Baltimore Ravens. Then you had the New York Giants, Bill Parcells Giants. You had the 49ers. Excuse me. With Joe Montana and Steve Young. Both of them had great defenses that year as well. The defense that stood out, the most was, you had actually the Bills had a great defense in their 4 trips to the Super Bowl. And with Cowboys had a great defense during that time as well. I mean, the Browns had a defense, regardless, they wasn't that great, but they had a great defense. Cincinnati defense was okay. A lot of teams. The Jets had always had defense. It never was talked about. But that right there, the bottom line, defense win championships, guys. I'll take that off now. Take that off. Defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. I'm gonna take this off too. But guys, you tell me what you think. We got 5 minutes to go, so I'm gonna let you guys know that the bottom line, defense wins championships. Bottom line is defense win championships. I've done said it about 5 times. Defense win championships. That's all we got to say with it. The game was good. The game, I like the game. It was a defensive game. Defense showed up. Defense rocked out. And another topic that nobody's saying anything, and I put it out there this whole entire hour. Is Sam Donald better than Josh Allen? Is Sam Donald better than Lamar Jackson? Is Sam Donald better than Baker Mayfield? Mayfield, is he? I think Sam Donald is up there. Now, the debate is Sam Donald better than Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, those that currently have rings in this era. That's another debate. So I want y'all to put that down below, and we can talk about that as well in the comments, man. All right, man. I don't know what else to talk about, man. I think I'm talked out. It's been a long day of work. Great day of work. Great day ministering and meeting people. And talking about sports. Not today, though. Talk about sports last Friday before the Super Bowl. But they was talking about who's going to be better if he win the chip. So I just think Sam Donald right now has the edge over Lamar Jackson. Sam Donald has the edge a little bit over Josh Allen. Sam Donald has the edge over Baker Mayfield. That's just me. Because he has a championship now. He led a team all year to the Super Bowl. Led a team all year to the playoffs. Stats galore. Championships. So he didn't win the MVP. However, does that make him better than Matthew Stafford? Because Matthew Stafford is the MVP of the league, but he's not a Super Bowl champion this year. But he is a Super Bowl champion. So all right. So leave your comments below, guys. What do you think? Who's better? Who's doing what they need to be doing? Etc. If I didn't hit every team or your favorite team talking about what they need of the offseason, just hit me down below and we'll talk about it next segment. However, this has been the Sports Talk after the Super Bowl discussion. I appreciate those that chime in, that stayed on, and those that's coming. Support the vision. And I didn't have everything on anyway. However, this is who we are, and this is what we do, and we're going to continue to talk about what we need to talk about on Sports Talk. We're going to talk about what sports and the games, and then I might talk about the NBA. I'm not fond of the NBA, guys. I'm not. I don't care about the NBA that much. But leading towards championship time, I might just get back on and talk about it. I'll talk about if Lamar James needs to retire or not, which I think he do. And then I just tell you what, we just go over the GOAT conversation because there's no such thing as a GOAT, but the conversation, but who's the comparison between Michael and LeBron or the other greats. I don't want to have that conversation, but I might have someone, a special guest to talk about that conversation next time. Might get my brothers or somebody, but somebody that knows basketball and stats. It's going to be fun. That would be fun. But right now, bottom line is defense win championships. And the Super Bowl is over now. What you think about the content? What you like the game? You didn't like the game? You think Sam Donald's better than the current quarterbacks without rings? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, etc. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. All right, man. All right. Without further ado, guys, this has been the Bottom Line. Tuesdays. We're going to be recuperating, but you can catch us on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then makeup days is on Monday. So that's the bottom line. But without that, you guys stay blessed. God bless you. Stay hungry, stay thirsty, my friends, for Jesus and everything else. This has been the Bottom Line Podcast. Love you guys. See you next episode. Peace.